Welcome back everyone. This video is all about state management using React.js with the help of Redux. So we are using Redux Toolkit to just manage the state. It means this is a real life example that we will use. First of all, we will use AsyncThunk to fetch the data from an API. This API, fake store API products. After fetching the data, then we will add to the card and we will just show the item in card and also remove from card. So it's all what we do. So we are using Redux Toolkit. So RTK is based on Redux. Before 2019 we had Redux, we were using Redux. So the Redux was a little bit complex for the developers, so the Redux team just bring the Redux Toolkit to the market to use Redux Toolkit. This is easy than Redux. It means it has a lot of features in Redux and it is easy for the developers. So we will use Redux and also AsyncThunk. AsyncThunk is just used for whenever we are fetching data. So that is also a feature of Redux. So and also we will implement the adding to cart and also removing from cart. This is a real life example for Redux. If you would like to just learn about Redux Toolkit, so I'm sure this video will definitely help you. So let's just check the demo. We have just fetched the data using from an API. Okay, this is API fake store api.com/products. This is products data. So I have displayed the data on browser. So whenever we press this button, so we will add them to the cart. So let's do it. For example, I have added these 3 cards. Okay, let's twice. So we have 3 items in our cart. Let the number of item has been updated. So let's press this card. So we just have the card, total items 3 and total amount 2 and 10. So we have the quantity and the remove button and also the image of that. So I have just displayed these things. So now whenever we press this remove button, the item will be removed from the cart. So let's press this one. So everything has been updated. Press this one, 59. So let's press again this one. So everything is updated like this. Let's go back to our products. So that is how we will use a Redux Toolkit and to create this example and implement this. So this is a complete example. It will help you to learn Redux Toolkit. So let's start. So after creating your React app, we will install these libraries. npm install at Redux.js Toolkit, React Redux, and Axios, which is HTTP request and response library, React DOM for routing. So after installing these packages, now let's start our coding. Let's close it and just come here to the app.jsx. Inside the app.jsx, we will just first of all implement React DOM. It means for routing. So for that we need to import, first of all, import browser router from React DOM, routes and route. Now let's configure it. Browser router. Inside this we will have routes. Inside routes we will just, let's close it. Inside routes we will have route path, for example the slash. This is for home page. So here we will have our home component. Right now we don't have our home or hero component, so later we will create that. So let's create, the first component that we should implement, that is navbar. We will create our navbar to display that at the top. So let's move to src and we will create a folder components. And inside the components, let's create navbar.jsx or AFCE. And let's just implement inside this navbar. We will have links. Okay, we will use link, React DOM link. Whenever we press this, we should go directly to the who is equal to where we should go /home. This is for eShop, for example. And let's add a class name, text 3xl, font semi bold. Add a class name to this div element, page black, text white. These are Tailwind CSS classes that I am using. You can use CSS or Bootstrap. And text white, padding black free. Save it. Let's create another link. Let's duplicate this one, and this is for cart. Whenever we press this link, we will move directly to the cart, and here we will just add cart, or here we can just display an icon also, but I will just display like cart. And this is like what we should. Let's remove these classes, save it, and let's import the, let's just make it flex and justify between items center. These are tailwind css classes. Let's import it inside down from this browser router, because we should display the navbar on the top of all component. Save it, and let's run our application. The terminal, in the terminal we will just write npm run div to run our React app. Press this, let's open it. So it says store.jsx. There is somewhere an error. Yeah, we should just remove these things. Which was the default code? So that is okay. Let's check it now. So we have this card. Let's just add the padding, change the padding EY3, and padding X would be like 24. And it looks like this is our card, and this is Isha, the logo. Now let's fetch the products and display them on the browser, okay, on the screen. So to fetch the products, for that we need to use AsyncThunk. Okay, so to use the AsyncThunk function, for that we need to just implement our Redux. So to implement the Redux toolkit, for that let's create a new folder, and we will name it like Redux. And inside this Redux we will have a store and also our slice reducer. Okay, let's, for example, I will implement all put all the Redux related files inside this Redux folder. The first file is store.jsx. Okay, we will use store. This is the store that we will create, which is important in all Redux whenever you are managing state. So we have a file by the name of store, and let's create another file which is cart slice. Slice is nothing but just a function. Okay, slice is the function, and inside this function we will implement the logic, okay, the magic which happens. It means all our reducer and action will be implemented related to cart inside this cart slice file. Let's create another file by the name of product slice.jsx, and related to the product, the magic and the code, the logic for the product, we will implement that inside this file. It means the reducer and the actions related to products will be inside this file. So now let's move to first of all product slice. Okay, here we will just implement to fetch the records. Let's import create slice, and also the AsyncThunk, create AsyncThunk. So after importing these, now let's declare the initial state of our products. So the initial states we have in our products, in our, okay, the store of our products, we should store products. First of all, products, which is an array with us, and after that we would like to store the status. Okay, the status of our products, is that in pending status, is that in fulfilled or rejected status. If there is an error, it is just for error handling. So here I will just write idle. By the default, the status of our products is idle. And error, let's find the error also. We will just assign null the default value. So after that, now let's create the slice. So to create the slice, for that we will just name it a product slice is equal to, we will just create a call create slice function, and inside this we will just pass these properties. The first one is the name. So let's pass a name which is product, and the second one is initial state. The initial state is initial state, so we can just write like this. Okay, initial state, and assign this initial state to this. But if you write like this, that is okay. It means initial state, we will assign this initial state. This is the shorthand. Reducers. Right now, to this reducer, it means that it has the pure function. Okay, it is just changing our state. Whenever we are using these reducers, we are defining pure function inside these reducers. Okay, for example, like adding to cart, removing from cart. So these are pure functions that we are defining inside reducers. But here in the product fetching, we don't need these reducers, but instead of this, we will use extra reducer. This extra reducer is an optional. We are using it whenever we need to, for example, just perform some action from other slice or from extra resources, for example, like fetching the data from other sources. Okay, so we are using extra reducer. This extra reducer, it will accept a function. So let's name it. For example, we will just pass an object which is builder, and this builder has methods. Okay, different methods, and here we will just use the method of add case like this. Let's do it. Builder dot add case, we will use this method. We can use also add measure, add default case, but here in this case, that fetching the data, we will use add case function. So inside this add function, we have three status. So for the status, we will use our function. It means that let's declare a function, and then we will call that function here. Let's create a function like const fetch products is equal to, we will just call create AsyncThunk, and to this create AsyncThunk, we will just pass a string products fetch products. So we will use this fetch product string. Okay, let's here I will show you. Okay, this has three status: fulfilled, rejected, or loading. So this is the first one as the string, and the second one is payload creator. So for that, we will just create a function. This is a function. We will make it asynchronous function. Async. Inside this function, we will fetch our data, and we will return the data back here to this function. So how we can do it? We will just declare like const response is equal to await. We will use await keyword Axios. So we will just import Axios, which is HTTP request and response library dot get. We will get data from this string, this API. Just come here and let's copy this string, and we will paste it here. So after fetching the data, now we will return the data. Return response, okay, dot data. So this we will now, let's call this function. Let's copy this. Okay, fetch product. We will just use this one, this string inside the add case, which is fetch products dot pending. If it was in pending status, first status, so then we will just let's create get the state, and what we need to do, state dot status is equal to, for example, loading. So this is the first state. Okay, here we use the status in our initial state, and here we just define that if the case was in pending, so what it should do, it will change this status from idle to loading. Let's add another status. So to add another case, for that, let's write add case. So that is fetch products dot fulfilled. If the status was fulfilled, so then we will just return current state and action. Action is the data that we have returned. So what we should do, just let's declare state dot status is equal to with succeeded, like this. Okay, succeeded, and state dot products is equal to with the action dot payload. So we will just assign the data that we return to our products. Okay, state.products to the products. Now let's add another status, which is add case. Just products that are rejected. If the status was rejected, so then we will just get the current state and action. And inside this function, we will just change the state.status to failed and state.error action.error.message. So here in the extra reducer, which is optional, we just fetch data from outside sources. Okay, so it has here we pass an object builder, and the builder has different method. We use the add case, and we added 3 cases. If the case was in pending, so it will just add this to the status loading. If the case was fulfilled, it means if the data fetched, so then we will just update our products and the status, we will update that. If rejected, it means if there was an error, so it will just change the status and also assign an error to the state.error. So this was all about our product slice. So now let's export it. Export default product slice dot reducers. So this is just reducer. So let's save it, and also we need to export this function. Now let's go to, and here we will create another folder inside this src by the name of pages. Inside this pages, let's create a component, a page by the name of products.jsx, and here let's write RAFCE. Inside this products, we will just display our products. So to display the products, for that we need first of all to just import use selector. Use selector is used just to extract data from our state, from our store. And also use dispatch is used to dispatch in action whenever we need. And also let's import fetch products from product slice. We will just import that function that we have created. Now let's use these use selector and use dispatch. Const, I will just create an instance of dispatch is equal to use dispatch. So after that, let's create the instance. It means extract data using use selector hook. So to extract the data, for that let's use const, for example, items is equal to our product items. We'll use selector, and it accept in a function, and to this we will pass the current status, current state, and state the current state dot products. It means that we will just pitch products using this use selector hook. So let's first of all create the name product. Name is products. And let's now extract the total. Okay, so just come here, the status and the error also. Status, and also the error. Save it. So after saving that, now let's display the items, the data. So to display that, for that let's just come here, and we will use the map function. So before using the map function, let's do something else. Okay, if the status was loading, we should display loading. If there was an error, so we will display the error, something like that. Okay, so for that let's do it. First of all, let's use effect hook. It accept in a function, and here we will call array dependency. We will pass array dependency. Inside this array dependency, we will just define the status and also dispatch. It means that use effect is called whenever rendered whenever we come to this component, but whenever change the data of this status and dispatch, it means that we are using dispatch or status, so are updating this status, so it will call this use effect again. Inside this use effect, what we need to do, we will just write if the status was equal to with ideal. If the status was ideal, so what we need to do, we will just call this fetch product function. It means let's dispatch, we will use dispatch to dispatch this action. It means we will call this function fetch products. Down from that, let's write if status was equal to with loading. So I think we have passed different status, yeah, loading. If that was loading, so then we will just come here, we will just return give loading. It means it is loading in loading status like this. Else if that was not in loading status, so we will just return, it means that there is an error, so we will just display the error. So let's display error. Now we will display our products. If nothing was, if it was not in loading or in error, so we will just display the products. So to display the product, for that, let's use the map function. Items dot map, we will get product. So let's first of all just display the image. So to display the image, p.image, and down from the image we will display a button where add to cart. So where is the error? If status was loading, else return due. Here instead of this, let's write like if status was equal to with failed, so then we will return this error. Now let's run the server, our React app that is running. Let's move here and let's connect with internet. But if we are not connected with the internet, we should display the error. It means this, that there is an internet error. Let's just come here, we should just display this error. But let's import this products also. So to import it, let's move to app.jsx, and here I will just write element is equal to with products. Save it. Let's check it now. So we paste with an error. So let's check. Okay, so to check the error, we will move to console, and here we will check that error could not find Redux content value. Please ensure the component is wrapped in a provider. Yeah, it means that we didn't provide the store, and we should create a store also. So for that, let's just come here to the Redux, to the store. So here we will use store. Okay, so for the store, to create a store, we will use configure store function. So after importing that, let's now const store is equal to, let's change store configure store. Here we will best pass reducer. Let's pass the first reducer, which is product. Let's assign a name product, and here we will just now import the product slice. That is okay. This is our store that we have created. Now let's export it. Export default store. Let's save it, and now let's move to main.jsx, and here we will just import that provider from React Redux and also store. Now let's wrap our app.jsx through provider, and here to this provider we will just pass store is equal to with store. Save it. Now let's check it. Just come here, let's refresh it. So again we paste with error, so it says products. It means that we cannot read properties of undefined products. So just come here to the products, and here it says no products. There is no products. It means this is product. Okay, this in the store that was product. Okay, the name was product. See, we have, it means error, network error. So now let's connect with internet and we will see the products. So let's refresh it. So we have the products and we have a button, add to cart button. So now let's design it. Okay, I will use Tailwind CSS classes to design these products. After adding Tailwind CSS classes, so it looks like this. Okay, these are our products. So now whenever we place this add to cart, so we should update this, the item and also the card page. Okay, we will add this product to the card. So let's press it. So we will move to the card page. Let's first of all create card page. Just come here to the pages, and here I will create card.jsx or AFCE, store it, and let's move to app.jsx, and here we will add a route for just cards, by card, card. Save it. So now let's go back to the card, and here inside the card, let's before implementing the card, we will just now move to the card slice. Okay, we will create a slice bar card also. So for that, let's move to Redux. I will name it card slice.jsx. So what does this mean? Yeah, we already have card slice. Okay, let's just come here, let's import create slice function, and after that let's create the initial state, card initial state is equal to, and here we will pass items, the products that we will store, that is in array with us, total quantity, total number of items, and also total amount. The default value is 0. Just come here. Now let's create the card slice. Const card slice is equal to, and here we will just use create slice method, and here we will pass now first of all name, which is card, it is a unique name, and initial state, after that reducers. So the first reducer that we will use, that is to add to cart, and this it will accept a function, and this to this function we will pass the current state and action. Now whenever we press, for example, call this add to cart action, so we will just update our items and we will add a product. So for that we need to do, first of all, let's check the find the index of the item. Okay, the item that we would like to add, for example, we are pressing on the same item 2 or 3 times. So for that, so whenever we are adding 2 or 3 times, so for that what we need to increase the quantity of the same product. So for that let's write const existed index, or we can just name it index, is equal to with the state dot items dot find index. We will use find index function, and let's name it item dot id was equal to with action dot payload dot id. So after finding the index, let's check it. If index was greater than or equal to 0, so it means the product is already existed. So for that, we will just increase the quantity of the same product that we have clicked on. Let's write state.items dot, and here we will just write index dot quantity plus is equal to with 1. So what it will do, so we will check first of all the index of the item that we have clicked on. If that same item was existed in our cart, so what we will do, we will increase the quantity for that product like this. It means the quantity of that product is increased to 2, 3, 4 like that. If that was not existed, it was the first time of the product, so for that what we need, we will create a new item is equal to a new, we will create a new object, action.payload. It means the object that we have passed, that object, and also we will add the quantity field, which is 1. So after creating new object, what we will do, we will just write state.items.push new item, and also we will just increase the total quantity, state dot total quantity plus is equal to 1, and down from this we will just increase the total amount also, like state dot total amount plus is equal to action dot payload dot price. Save it. So this is the whole logic. Whenever we press, we call this add to cart action. So we will first of all check the index if that was existed. So we will just update the quantity of the same product. If the product was not already existed, so then we will push that product to our cart, and also we will update the total quantity, and also after that we will just update the total price, the total amount. Now let's export all these things. Export default cart slice dot reducer, and also we will, let's export the const add to cart actions. Save it. Now let's move to store, and we will import the cart slice. Let's add it here. The name of this is cart, and we will assign cart slice to this one, and we will store it inside this store. This is our store. Now we will access all our cart data using this cart. So let's move now to the, where we should move, let's move to the product. Okay, to the product. So whenever we press this button, so we will update everything. So for that, let's use dispatch. First of all, we will import the add to cart action. Add to cart action. After importing that, now let's call it here. Okay, whenever we click on this, on click dispatch, and we will pass add to cart, and we will pass the p product. Okay, we have passed the product to this add to cart function. So after clicking this, we will update the navbar also. Here we will add the number of items also. So for that, let's use, come here to the and we will use selector const like number of products is equal to with use selector, and here state dot cart dot total quantity. Let's display it here. Like this. So let's first of all display it. Let's just come here. Let's reload it. So network error. Let's refresh it. Yeah, let's process add to cart. So the default value is 20. How? Let's change it. Okay, let's the total quantity state.cart, that total quantity. So let's check it. Let's refresh it once again. The default value is 20. I don't know why. State.cart dot total quantity. Here to the cart slice, total quantity is 0. Add to cart slice dot actions. Yeah, the problem I found that is here. Okay, whenever just come here to the product list, and here in the products, whenever we are calling this add to cart, let's create an arrow function like this, save it. Now let's move back here. So let's now refresh it. So right now we have 0. So let's refresh it. Refresh it. So that is okay. Before that was calling with every product when it was rendering the product, so it was calling add to cart function also. So now it is 0. So let's press add to cart. See, that has changed to 1, changed to 2. If we press it again, so it will not change because it is the same product. 3, 4. Press it. So that now let's design the card. Let's move to the card.jsx, and here let's design it. So let's first of all import use selector and also dispatch. Use dispatch const is equal to use dispatch const items is equal to use selector dot card dot items, and also total amount, total quantity, total quantity. So that is okay. Now let's display the data. Here let's first of all display in each contact card. Down from that we will display the total amount, total items, total quantity, and total amount. Down from that, let's display in use items dot map. We will get the product and let's display them in a div element. First of all, we will just display the image p dot image, and also let's display the quantity of that product, which is p dot quantity, and at the last we will create a button remove. So let's save it, and now let's move to cart. So we have these products in our cart, okay, that we have added previously. So now let's just add some css design to this cart also. So after adding these tailwind css classes, let's check it. Okay, so it looks like this. Okay, these are our products in our cart. So now whenever we press this remove button, we should be able to update our cart, okay, to remove that item from our cart. So for that, let's move, and we will just let's move to our cart slice, and here we will add another action, which is remove from cart. Let's add the logic for removing an item from a cart. So first of all, we will find the index of our product. So for that, we need to just, let's copy this one, this line of code. We want to find the index of product. So where is the error? Yeah, this is just treated as a function. Yeah, data.item start find index, that is okay. So after finding the index, now we will just decrease the quantity. So to decrease the quantity, let's copy this line, state that items index start quantity is equal to minus is equal to 1, and also we will decrease the total amount. So here we are passing just id. So instead of before we passed here an object, but here we will just pass the id. So here we will just use action.payload. So after finding the index, now here we will just write, okay, state that items dot index dot quantity minus is equal to 1. And that is okay. State dot total amount. So what is here? I just no, here instead of this we will just remove the total amount, total quantity. Okay, total quantity. Total quantity minus is equal to 1, and here state the total amount plus so instead of writing directly like this, here's total amount minus, instead of this we will just write like state dot items index, okay, the index that we have found, that price multiply by state dot price dot items index dot quantity. What does this mean? I will just show to you. Quantity. So it means that whenever we are just we have the quantity of a product 3, so we should multiply the price in 3, then we will minus it from the total amount. Now at the last we will just remove item from our cart. So to remove the item part, that we will simply write state dot items dot splice. We will use splice function and we will pass here index 1, just by 1, the index that we have specified, remove that item. Let's save it, and now let's export it. Remove from cart. Now let's move to the cart and here import that. Remove from cart. Let's now use it. Okay, whenever we press this button, so we will call that. On click, we will just create an arrow function, use dispatch and call remove from cart, and we will pass just the id like p dot id. Save it, alt shift F. Let's save it now and let's check it now. Let's move to the browser, and we don't have any product. Let's just create with the internet, create connection with internet. So let's refresh it now. Okay, now let's add the products like this one, 3, 4, 5, like this. Okay, let's move to cart. We have these 4 items, and the quantity of this third one is 3. So now whenever we press this remove button, so we should be able to remove this from cart. Let's press it. See, everything has changed, 3, and let's press it. Press it like this, press it like this, everything is 0. So that's how we have implemented, okay, our add to cart and remove from cart, and also AsyncThunk functionality. Remove it, remove it, remove it, and remove it. That is how we have implemented Redux Toolkit. We have used AsyncThunk for fetching the data, and also we have used the reducers actions to implement add to cart and removing from cart functionality. So if you like this video, don't forget to subscribe our YouTube channel. Thanks for watching.